Hello, everybody. It is Goal MF Michael Fletcher alongside Anthony Floyo. We are awaiting the presence of Michael Bullock, but we are here tonight for the recap of Crown Jewel that went down yesterday afternoon from Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, exclusively on Peacock in the United States and on the WWE Network, wherever you were around the world. And here we go, guys. So we're just going to dive right on into the event. We started it off with the first fight of the evening, which was Brock Lesnar going one on one with Bobby Lashley. Brock wins the match in 6 minutes. Obviously, major league disappointing. Um, I kind of feel like maybe there was an injury in this matchup. It kind of sucked the momentum from the match because this had the makings of being something really special. However, it looked like Brock suffered a knee injury. I don't know if that was a storyline or just the way it went down. Something didn't go right. You could feel that something was definitely wrong between in this matchup. But after the match, Bobby Lashley attacked Brock Lesnar, so they're solidifying him as a heel. Um, I don't know, man. I don't know how to feel about it. Like I said, it had the makings of something wicked special, and then out of nowhere, it just abruptly ended. So obviously, a lot of fans were really upset with the outcome. Uh, the fans in Saudi Arabia were upset. We were a little perplexed ourselves. I don't even feel like this even deserves a rating more than anything else. So Anthony, it's yours. Yeah, Brock and Lashley, great build up, but once he got to Saudi Arabia, something went wrong, and the match never lived up to the hype.
Even though the match was fun and had some great physical spots, but you could tell the way it ended that it did not go completely as planned. Brock Lesnar did not roll back onto Lashley the way he was supposed to, so the way he got the pin did not look convincing. In fact, it didn't even look like the Almighty's shoulders were down all the way. Having Lesnar win that way instead of decisively was a decent way to do this to protect the Almighty, but the way they messed it up sort of killed all of the momentum the match had built up, and Lashley put Lesnar back in the hurt lock for a bit before leaving the ring. And Lashley putting someone through a barricade has become one of the most common spots he performs. It always looks good, but he should limit its use so it means more every time he does it. And the way Lashley rammed Lesnar into the ring post looked great. The Beast almost did a spin as he fell to the ground. And it's honestly kind of impressive that Lashley was even able to lock his fingers for the hurt lock, because Brock Lesnar has huge shoulders. But at the end of the day, I 100% agree with you. It's a no rating for me as well. And if I were to put a rating on it, I would give it in excess of 2 to 2.5. I could probably say this was the worst fight. This was the worst fight of the night, to be honest with you.
Agreed.
So there isn't much more for me to say. It's going to be an NA. So there isn't much more to say on that. So MF, let's get into the first of our 4 championship matches.
And it was for the WWE Women's Tag Team titles. The champions, Alexa Bliss and Asuka, putting the titles on the line against Io Sky and Dakota Kai, representing Damage Control. The winners of the bout in 12 minutes and 50 seconds. And new WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, Damage Control, Dakota Kai, Io Sky. They have regained the titles. Anthony, history was made. It is all yours.
And I believe somebody had that one. That would be you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, exactly. 3.5 to 3.75 of a star. This was a highly competitive match with several standout moments. All 4 women put in the maximum effort to make this their best encounter yet. And while the referee was distracted, Nikki Cross attacked Alexa Bliss out of nowhere, paving the way for Dakota Kai to get the pin and regain the women's tag titles for Damage Control. And MF, you even made a point about this in our messenger chat yesterday. The bodysuits that the women have to wear in Saudi Arabia have gotten better with each event. And the gear makers in WWE did a very good job. Alexa Bliss looked especially good in the opening minutes of this match. She is one of those people who has continued to improve with each passing year. Io Sky's counter to a double suplex was perfect. The way Sky hit a springboard dropkick to hang Asuka up on the top rope was awesome. And when the Empress gets going, there are few who can match her energy. The way she hits, strikes, and suplexes always looks so good. So I got to give this 3.5, teetering on 3 3/4 of a star. It was technically a 4-star match, but I'm bumping it down to the 3.5 to 3 3/4 because of the interference by Nikki Cross. But nonetheless, the Damage Control regains the women's tag team championships, and the only downside is the women's tag titles continue to have this lifeless direction with it. But I'm hoping that this run will be a better run and something good will come out of it, and we'll see. But yeah, so that's all I can say on that. 3.5 to 3 3/4 of a star for me. And MF, I don't think we can go as far as to call this an unprecedented crowning because of the fact that they have been champions before, and
it was also a tainted victory because of the fact of Nikki Cross getting involved in the match. But it is a 3.5-star fight. This was an excellent matchup, great title matchup. Like we said, crowning of new tag champions, really nothing more to add there. So we'll just move along. Next up was Drew McIntyre versus Karrion Kross inside the confines of a 15-foot high steel cage. And when it was all said and done, the winner of the bout in 13 minutes was Drew McIntyre. Another 3-star bout. Finally, Drew McIntyre gets on the winning track. We were saying it on the preview on Friday that he needed this victory more than anything else. He got it. I am happy. I am satisfied. If they want to continue the story, maybe you can, but I kind of feel like this should be the blow off. Have these two men go in different directions. Cross is without a doubt one of the best guys. You don't want to pigeonhole him here. Neither do you want to pigeonhole Drew McIntyre either. So these guys need a different storyline just to get off from one another. If you want to revisit this down the line, be my guest. But as far as this rivalry goes, I think this should be the end. Anthony, 3-star match, but finally Drew gets a big win here. And like I said, I think it's time that you separate the two for a little bit, let them go on their own separate paths in WWE.
What was the time of the fall again?
13 minutes even.
13 minutes even. I'm going to give this 3.5 for the effort here. As expected, these two put on a hell of a fight. This is exactly the kind of match Karrion Kross has needed since he returned to WWE, because it allowed him to show off most of the skills that make him valuable. The ending might not be something everyone likes, but the match as a whole was tons of fun. And some of the punches Kross and McIntyre were throwing were connecting more than the average pro wrestling. It brought a little brutality to the fight. The spot McIntyre does when he is hanging from the top rope upside down and sits up to throw his opponent across the ring always looks fantastic. And the superplex from the top of the cage produced a surprising holy bleep moment from the crowd. So, yeah, special moment there. This was another 3.5 stars for me, and nothing more to say. MF, we move on now to 6-man tag team action, and I will get the ball rolling on this one.
It was the OC, AJ Styles, Luke Gallows, and Carl Anderson going up against the Judgment Day of Finn Balor, Damian Priest, and Dominic Mysterio. Winners of the bout in 14 minutes even was the Judgment Day. Anthony, it is indeed yours.
Yeah, I'm going to give this about 3 1/4, 3.5. A steady pace was kept for most of the match, so the occasional double or triple team spot stood out more. The crowd was into the match, but the loudest reaction came when AJ Styles and Finn Balor finally got in the ring together. Most of this match was good, but there was something missing. It's hard to explain what it was, but there was a feeling of being incomplete in the end. And Rhea Ripley went all out for her look, even though she was not competing. Michael Cole on commentary said her haircut was supposed to be a reference to Beth Phoenix. And Cole actually said the words Bullet Club when hyping up this match. But he just said club for every future reference. It might have been a mistake on his part, but it was still cool to hear it said on WWE television. Michael Cole, he went on to say that. Damian Priest was already good in NXT, but he has gotten even better since coming to the main roster. Some of the moves he does on a regular basis look much better than they used to. This was about 3.25 to 3.5 for the effort. And MF, you nailed it again. You went on the record and you said that you felt that the Judgment Day was going to win this match because of Rhea Ripley. Judgment Day won this match because of Rhea Ripley. I believe you had this one and another one for you. So not much more to say. It's all yours.
Yeah, another 3.5-star match, no doubt about it. I thought this was really well done and everything else. Again, that's why they need that neutralizer. And the sooner they get that neutralizer, the better it's going to be for the OC. And you notice when Rhea comes in, that's where the momentum does shift. So until they get somebody to try to stop Rhea, that's the way that it goes. So next up we had was Braun Strowman versus Omos. Braun wins the match in 7 minutes and 20 seconds. Now I will say this. A lot of people were worried about this being the worst fight of the night. And a lot of people thought that this was going to be an absolute mess. However, give credit where credit's due to Braun. And a lot of credit to Omos. In my honest opinion, I thought this was his personal best being in the ring. He's getting a lot of praise from WWE management, getting a lot of praise from Braun Strowman. I think they did a good job here. So it's a 2-star fight. It wasn't anything spectacular, but it was a good big man fight. It was actually enjoyable. I thought they did really well with this. So nothing more to add, Anthony. Pleasant surprise. It wasn't the worst fight of the night.
What was it, about 5 minutes or
7:20 actually?
7:20. Okay. And I'm going to give it 2.5, and we'll call it the sleeper fight of the night. While this match did not need to be as long as it was, they did a much better job than anybody could have predicted. This wasn't a 5-star classic, but it had a decent pace and allowed both men to show off what makes them unique. Braun Strowman was the underdog for the first time ever, but he pulled off the win with the power slam that probably would have broken a cheaper ring. MVP was not there to accompany Omos to the ring. The Nigerian giant had a new piece of attire for his entrance, and Omos trying to pin Strowman with his foot instead of a cover was a good way to show that he was overly confident in his abilities. And I cannot believe that they actually put one of the women referees in the ring for this match, Daphne LaShawn. But hey, I'll give her credit. She held her own with those two monsters. So, said a prayer for her, and thankfully everything was okay. So, but hey, 2.5 stars for me on this one. So nothing more to say here. And we move on to the second of our 4 championship matches. MF, the battle for the undisputed tag team championship.
Yes, it was the Brawling Brutes, Rich Holland and Butch, going up against the Usos. The Usos successfully defends the titles, 10 minutes and 45 seconds. And Anthony, it is yours.
3 to 3.25 stars. And I'll tell you what, neither team was able to control the other for too long. It felt like an even fight most of the time, but the Usos, having so many double team moves they can rely on, gave them a few more opportunities to overpower their opponents. And Rich Holland almost scored the win at one point with the white noise, but the Usos were able to rally and hit a super 1D for the win. This was a solid performance from all 4 men. It lasted just long enough and gave both teams a chance to shine at different times. Holland hitting the beats of the Bowery was a nice homage to Sheamus, but Jimmy prevented him from hitting Jay with the 10th strike. The way Butch attacked Jimmy's arm against the steel steps looked brutal. that damn joint manipulation that always makes me squeamish. You all know that.
Mm-hmm.
Well documented on this show, or all of our shows over the years. And Butch avoiding a super kick by simply waiting an extra second to jump off the middle rope was inadvertently hilarious. But it's only 3 to 3.25 because it was a little on the shorter side. But no rest for the weary when it comes to the Usos. They got by the Brutes again, but now they are in for, without a doubt, the biggest and toughest defense of their undisputed titles to date. This Friday night, on Friday Night SmackDown, from the Bankers Life Fieldhouse in Indianapolis, Indiana, the home of the Pacers. Oh, man. Fox, MF, Team Blue, get ready. It's one of the biggest matches on SmackDown in some time, as it will be the Usos defending the undisputed Tag Team Championship against their greatest rivals, the New Day. Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods, and there's a major caveat. Something has got to give in this one. If the New Day wins, they become, I believe, 12 or 13-time tag team champions. Amazing. And they would end this epic run of the Usos, which come Friday, the run will stand at 481 days. The record is 483 days by the New Day. SummerSlam 2015, all the way to the Raw exclusive Roadblock End of the Line pay-per-view in December of 2016. So, can the New Day do it? If the New Day wins, they end the run. The Usos' dominant run is over. The run that they started back at Money in the Bank 2021, when they won the SmackDown Tag Team Championships from the Mysterios, Rey and Dominic, back when they were together. And then it was back on, I believe it was May 20th of this year in Grand Rapids, Michigan, when they unified the SmackDown Tag Team Championship with the Raw Tag Team Championship, when they knocked off RK Bro, knocked Randy Orton out, and we haven't seen the Viper since, much to the chagrin of MF. And now they're saying, who knows, maybe his career could be over. You never know, but we're going to have to keep an eye on that. But if the Usos win, then they will be guaranteed the record. They will surpass the New Day. I never thought anyone would ever surpass Demolition. Demolition had the previous long record, 478 days, winning the titles from Strikeforce at WrestleMania 4 and holding them all the way up until a Saturday night's main event taping in Worcester, Massachusetts at the Centrum, when they lost the titles to the Brainbusters. That episode aired on, I believe it was July the 29th of 1989. So, and that was a 478-day run. You already know about New Day's run, 483. Usos win Friday night. The record is theirs. MF, I know you're normally the hype man, but I thought I'd take a shot at it. 3.25.
You did pretty well.
3.25
with that. You did very well with that. So no, you're absolutely right. History could be made if the Usos survive. If the Usos,
history's going to be made either way.
Yeah, if the Usos survive and win it, then they will become the greatest tag team in WWE history because they will have the longest championship reign of any team in the history of the company. If the New Day does it, then they become 12-time champions, and that puts them in rarefied air than some of the greatest teams in wrestling history. So we'll get into that. That's going to be a historic match. And with that kind of magnitude, I would not be shocked if that's the main event on SmackDown this Friday night.
It should be. It should be the main event, and I'll even go on the record. We know the history of Usos and New Day. How many instant classics have they given us over these years?
Yeah.
Especially 2017.
Yep.
I mean, they only gave us the greatest kickoff show match of all time.
Yep.
SummerSlam 2017 when they had a damn near 5-star classic on the kickoff of all things.
Yep.
You normally don't get 5-star classics on the kickoff show, but in that case, they damn near almost had one.
They almost did it. Yeah.
It was about 4.5, 4 3/4 for that
Yep.
one. They went almost 20 minutes on a
Yep.
kickoff show. Imagine that. SummerSlam 2017, look it up. It was amazing. So, and then of course, what about that Sin City street fight? Who will ever forget that?
Mm.
And all the other, and of course, the first ever tag team Hell in a Cell match. Let's not forget that. And that was a classic. But this one here, if they give it the proper amount of time with the proper use of commercial breaks and all that, I got the feeling, barring any major bloodline or whatever interference, I got a feeling this could go down as perhaps their best yet, and I can't wait.
All right. With that said, we do indeed move on to the next thing that we have here on this fight card, and it is for the Raw Women's Championship, the last woman standing, Bianca Belair versus Bayley. Bianca Belair successfully defends the title in 20 minutes and 20 seconds. Unbelievable match. Another 4-star battle. This had everything it needed it to be. And for Bianca to be the last woman standing, to win it, and to successfully defend the title, she's a superwoman, man. She is remarkable. She is amazing. You know, when she talks about being the bestest, the fastest, the quickest, goes with that shtick, that EST shtick, now you believe it. Now you got to believe it, because she has risen to that occasion time and time and time and time again, and she did it again with the title on the line, with everything riding, with the momentum that Damage Control had going into this, and yet again, Bayley gets denied the Raw Women's title. Man, Anthony Florio, Bianca Belair, she's the best. She is the baddest woman in the WWE right now. I'll even go and say it. She's my female wrestler of the year.
You beat me to it. I was about to say the same thing. Right now, she's got my vote. She's definitely our front runner for the women's wrestler of the year. And man, I mean, she just keeps getting better and better and better. And another accolade for the EST in what was the second best fight of the night. 4 1/4, 4.5 stars. I mean, this was absolutely amazing. All right. Belair got the win by trapping Bayley in a ladder that was held shut by the ring ropes. It was a unique way to finish the bout, but it would have been better if one of them had gotten a more definitive victory by doing enough damage to earn a real 10 count. But other than that, the rivals played their roles perfectly and delivered a performance that stood out among the rest of the card. The match had a couple of moments that did not quite work out as planned, but they were overshadowed by everything that did work well. When the role model lost hold of a kendo stick, it flew out of the ring and landed perfectly on the barricade. It was just balancing there for a long time. A kid tried to touch it, but you could tell someone told him not to because he sat down right away. Bayley set up Belair on a chair and ran across the barricade to hit a flying clothesline in one of the best spots of the bout. The EST should have crawled under the ring while she was tapped behind the steps so she could surprise Bayley out of nowhere. It feels like a missed opportunity. If Bayley was trying to hit Belair with the golf cart, she failed miserably. She slowed down before the champion even moved out of the way. But an amazing, amazing match. 4 1/4, teetering on 4.5. This was the second best fight of the night. There was one match that was actually better, and we're actually going to get into what was indeed the fight of the night in just a moment. But man, Bianca Belair, she's been the Raw Women's Champion since dethroning Becky Lynch at WrestleMania 38, the first night of it, the Saturday night, WrestleMania 38, the 2nd of April of this year. And she's been champion now 218 days and counting. This is day number 218 for Bianca. It'll be 219 when we get to Raw tomorrow night in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. We'll see if anything happens with that tomorrow. Nothing's been announced as of yet, but man, oh man, what a fantastic match here. But let's also give Bayley her flowers as well. Let's give Bayley credit as well, because it wasn't just Bianca, but Bayley was just as amazing as Bianca was in this match. And let me tell you, as the voice of Monday Night Raw, I can't tell you how proud I was of this match. This was a proud papa moment for me to see two of my best women going out there and tearing it up and doing amazing things. And that was a women's revolution match right there. That was not a ho-hum diva fight by any stretch. So EST keeps on rolling. Who knows how long it'll be before she eventually gets dethroned, or who could dethrone her? I don't know. But, we're going to have to wait and find out. If it's not Bayley, then who? I don't know. I really don't know. But I'm just glad that they gave Bianca a much better run with this title than they did with the SmackDown Women's title. Her run got cut short after 133 days after she won it from Sasha Banks in that historic WrestleMania 37 Night 1 main event with Sasha. And then they literally buried her with Becky 26 seconds SummerSlam at Allegiant. So, but she has bounced. She has come so far since then. She's come so full circle, and I, for one, couldn't be happy for her. So my respect for the EST keeps growing more and more and more exponentially each and every time she goes out there and works. And she's just such a joy to have, and I am beyond blessed and honored to have her on Team Red. She's definitely, when it comes to the women's division, she's definitely our frontline soldier, no doubt about it. So not much more to say there. 4 1/4, 4.5, second best fight of the night. MF, main event time. MF, are you there? I don't know
now we lead us to the main event. As it was Roman Reigns versus Logan Paul. Roman Reigns wins the match and successfully defends the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. 24 minutes, 50 seconds for the main event. Anthony Florio, it is yours.
24 minutes and how many seconds?
50 seconds.
50. Almost 25 minutes. Fight of the night. 4.5, teetering on 4 3/4 of a star. Wow. All right. Everybody knows, it's well documented how much I can't stand Logan Paul, but damn it to hell, this boy can wrestle. Let me tell you, he can wrestle. We saw it with him and The Miz against the Mysterios at WrestleMania. We saw it against The Miz in that Falls Count Anywhere match at SummerSlam. But I think yesterday was, without a doubt, his personal best performance. I mean, to take the Tribal Chief to the limit and then some, just like some others have already. Wow. Whether you like him or not, and I don't, you have to admit the celebrity boxer turned wrestler put on a great show. He might not be as technically proficient as somebody who has been doing this for years, but he has a clear grasp of how to play into the big moments and how to use his athleticism to hit dangerous moves and sell for his opponent. As impressive as Logan Paul was here, it makes no sense for Roman Reigns to be selling this much for a rookie. Having a celebrity compete is fun, but the social media star put up more of a fight than some of the other guys the dual champ has defeated during his run. It might be fun to watch, but it doesn't make much sense. However, that does not take away from how much fun it was to watch this whole thing go down. He got about, 4 or 5 hope spots, Logan Paul did? 4 or 5 moments where we thought he was going to actually win the titles. Wow. All right. I'll tell you what. The look on Roman's face after Logan Paul took him down for the first time was the perfect mix of shock and anger. Logan Paul's leapfrog was impressive, but his flip into the ring to hit a clothesline was legitimately one of the most impressive spots of the night. And Logan Paul might have a better frog splash than Dominic Mysterio. That's how great it was. And outcome was never in doubt, but man, oh man, I mean, credit to Logan Paul. That's all I can say. So 4.5, 4.75. If you want to make an argument for 5, I wouldn't be mad at it. I wouldn't. But man alive, fight of the night, no doubt about it. And MF, like I said, there were at least 4 or 5 times, hope spots, whatever you want to call it, that we actually thought, oh my God, they're actually going to do this. They're actually going to put the belts on Logan. But after the match was over, unfortunately, some bad news. Logan Paul, MF, he got hurt and hurt very badly.
Yeah, torn ACL, torn MCL, and a torn meniscus. He's practically done for a year. Like, I'm pretty sure he's not coming back anytime soon. But I will say this: give credit where credit's due. I know Jake Paul and Logan Paul are a nuisance. I know a lot of people don't like them. I know a lot of people loves to see them get their butts kicked and everything else. But if you really think about it, what he did here in Saudi Arabia last night was entertaining. And that's exactly what he is. He's an entertainer. He knows, he took the commitment, he worked his tail off, he did the training, and he made the match to be what it was going to be. An incredible battle. And he not only won the respect of a lot of the wrestling fans around the world, but even the casuals are showing a different light to Logan Paul. And the thing is that what he did was so unique and so amazing that, yeah, to take on the tribal chief, to take on the head of the table, to take on the face of the WWE, and to give him that kind of a battle, dude, hats off to him. And he deserves the respect and the admiration that he's getting tonight. Now, is he going to win everybody? Probably not. There's going to be some holdouts. There's going to be people that are going to say, all right, so whoop-de-doo. But the thing is that I dare anybody to try to do it. Wrestling is not for everyone. I mean, for certain guys, if they take the work, if they make the commitment, if they put their blood, sweat, and tears and really make it amazing, that's where great things happen. I mean, honestly, Pat McAfee, Bad Bunny, now Logan Paul, because these 3 men took it seriously and they really took the opportunity to train, to work, and put the effort in. And as a matter of fact, Triple H was thoroughly impressed, very happy with the outcome, and said that he would love to have Logan Paul do this again. But, like we said, because of the injuries that he suffered from last night, chances are we probably won't see Logan do this for a while. So, get a good look. Watch it on Peacock. Watch it on the WWE Network, folks, because you're probably not going to see him for probably the next year or so because of these injuries. But hats off to Logan Paul for what he did. And, hey, that closes that because this was a hell of a show. This was easily 8.5 for me as far as the overall review goes. I thought they did a really good job with the entire show. I thought, some matches were predictable, no doubt. Should have been better in certain areas, but hey, I thought they did a really good job. Anthony, it's yours. Final thoughts.
I'm right there with you, MF. 8.5 for me as well. Main event, clear fight of the night. The last woman standing, second best fight of the night. And I don't know how I can round out the top 3, but those were easily the top 2 fights of the night. I mean, the atmosphere was great. And I've read some reviews saying that this might have been the best Saudi Arabia show they've ever done. And you know what? I think I might be in the majority of that. I would have to consider this one of the greatest, if not the greatest, Saudi Arabia show that WWE has done. But then again, look who's running things. Like we've been saying for the last 3 or 4 months now. So, fantastic show, and I don't know when they'll be back there. I think it might be
Probably
spring,
sometime next year. Yeah, sometime next year.
like around April or May or so, because usually they would do it in February or November, but February, the Elimination Chamber, is going to be in Montreal. So I think the next Saudi show is going to be a little later this time around. So probably April or May or so. So there isn't much more to say on that. 8.5. One of the, like I said, one of the best, if not the greatest Saudi show they've ever done. And when it comes to pay-per-views, MF, it's now onward and upward to one of our personal favorites, the Survivor Series. Let's go.
That's right. Survivor Series War Games. It will be happening Thanksgiving weekend. And yeah, so we're gonna be glued to that very, very soon. I think the next Saudi show, and I honestly am predicting this, I think could be King and Queen of the Ring because of the fact that they did the King of the Ring final and the Queen's Crown tournament. I would think it would be a great idea to do the King and Queen of the Ring in Saudi Arabia. I mean, I think that would be a perfect event, perfect venue. You could do an all day tournament, or do like a double tournaments, men's and women's over there. I would do like at least maybe do like an 8-person tournament. Get do like the qualifying matches and then do like an 8-person tournament to do King and Queen of the Ring. So we'll see. But whatever the case may be, unbelievable outcome, unbelievable show. Nothing more to say. We're done for tonight. We'll be back here tomorrow for another edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk. As actually, no, Ridiculously Raw. I'm sorry. It is Ridiculously Raw, hosted by Anthony Floyo on the Tone 25 YouTube and StreamYard.com. He's got Monday Night Raw. He's got 205, NXT Level Up and Impact Wrestling. So we got that. So until then, have a good night, everybody, and we will see you guys tomorrow night.
Goodbye.